take its votes accordingly.
Second.
All right. Second. All right. I think that was seconded by Councilmember Braithwaite, and we'll call the question.
Luke, Councilmember, you want me to call the roll?
Yes, please.
Councilmember Kelly?
Aye.
Councilmember Braithwaite?
Aye.
Councilmember Newsma?
Aye.
Councilmember Burns?
Aye.
Councilmember Reed?
Aye.
All right. So welcome to the Administration and Public Works Committee. Today is Monday, January 24th, and we have a quorum, but we will do, I guess we just kind of did it, but we'll do it again, just a roll call in for quorum.
Sure. Councilmember Braithwaite?
Here.
Councilmember Newsma?
Here.
Councilmember Burns?
Here.
Councilmember Reed?
Here.
And Councilmember Kelly?
All right. So calling the meeting in order. We do have a quorum. Next up is approval of minutes of regular Administration and Public Works Committee meeting. These were the minutes from the January 10th meeting. Can someone move approval of those minutes, please?
Mr. Chair, I'll move the approval of the minutes from the January 10th, 2022 meeting of the ANPW Committee.
Second.
All right. Any discussion, any changes? All right. Seeing none. Luke, please.
Councilmember Newsma?
Aye.
Councilmember Burns?
Aye.
Councilmember Reed?
Aye.
Councilmember Kelly?
Aye.
Councilmember Braithwaite?
Aye.
All right. And Luke, we still, no one signed up for public comment?
As of a couple minutes ago, no. Let me double check. I am seeing no one for AP&W at this time.
Okay. Are we remove this? Well, next up is the consent calendar. Would anyone like to remove anything from the consent calendar?
Yes. Hold on. Let me see.
Mr. Chair, I'll remove item A2.
All right. Item A2 is removed.
Give me 1 second.
And it looks like we have A1 through A7. Everything else is just an item for consideration. So we're working with A1 through A7.
Yes, if you give me 1 quick second, I can tell you the number of the item as soon as I get out of where I am. It's the renewal for the RZP or something like that. I don't have.
That's A3, the RPZ monitoring.
Yeah, if you could remove that. I just had a quick question for our staff.
Let me just make sure that's it. Are you sure that's it, Councilmember Newsma? Is it A3? I don't see it in. It says
I'm going to it right now.
Yeah, for the backflow, cross-connection control.
That was it.
That's
Is
it.
that it?
That's A3.
All right. So we got A2 off, A3 off. Any other items, council members? Councilmember Braithwaite, was there any others, or is just A3?
Just A3.
Okay.
And a quick question on A7.
Yeah, you have the floor, Councilmember. Or do you want that answer now?
You want to pass the consent agenda and then go
Pass
back
it first?
to it? Yeah.
So do you want to remove A7?
Yes, just to ask a quick question.
Okay. All right. So we have A2 off, A3 off, A7. Can someone please move all the other, basically A1? Can someone move A1? Everything but A2, A3, and A7.
Mr. Chair, I'll move item A1, approval of the City of Evanston payroll and bills list through January 2nd of this year in the amount of $2,942,974.10. Bills list through January 25th in the amount of $1,855,258.54. And bills list through January 25th in the amount of $534,587.25. I also move item A4, approval of contract award with Ozinger Ready Mix for single source purchase of concrete in the amount of $50,000. Item A5, approval of Northwest Water Commission annual quantity rate true-up for service years 2019-2020 and also 2020-21. I will skip the details on that. I will further move item A6, the fiscal year 2022 estimated annual user charge with Metropolitan Water Reclamation District for disposal of sludge generated as part of the water treatment process in the amount of $197,386.85. And that's it.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Councilmember Burns?
Discussion?
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to call the roll if you're ready.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Thank you.
Councilmember Burns?
Aye.
Councilmember Reed?
Aye.
Councilmember Kelly?
Aye.
Councilmember Braithwaite?
Aye.
Councilmember Newsma?
Aye.
All right. Can someone move approval of A2?
Mr. Chair, I'll move approval of item A2, which is approval of change order number 1 to the contract with Thermo Systems Incorporated, also Dakin Applied Americas Incorporated for the HVAC improvements at the Evanston Water Utility Administrative Offices in the amount of $50,353.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion.
Yeah, I had that one pulled. I don't have any questions at this point. Staff was able to answer them earlier today. I just wanted to give a shout out to the staff member, Tim Gray, who is the water plant pumping chief, for coming up with this idea, which is going to cost us a little bit more to engineer on the front end, but will yield significant savings over the lifetime of this HVAC equipment, savings in terms of energy use and the cost of energy, and it will extend the lifetime of this equipment. So I just want to applaud staff for kind of thinking outside the box and coming up with some creative ideas, and give credit where credit is due here. It's Tim Gray who deserves the credit, and I appreciate thinking about energy efficiency at all stages of the city's operation. So thanks. Bless you.
Bless.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember News. All right. If we have no further discussion, we will be ready to vote on this.
Councilmember Reed?
Aye.
Councilmember Kelly?
Aye.
Councilmember Braithwaite?
Yep.
Councilmember Newsma?
Aye.
Councilmember Burns?
Aye. All right. Can someone move approval? So the motion passed. Can someone move approval of A3?
I'll move it, item A3, which is approval. Oh, my screen just moved. Hold on 1 second. My screen is all over the place. My apologies. Let me try this again. It is item.
I'll move approval
Thank
of a
you.
1-year extension to the contract with Backflow Solutions Incorporated for cross-connection control management program services.
Thank you.
Is there a second?
Second.
I'll second it.
All right. Moved by Councilmember Reed, seconded by Councilmember Newsma. And is there any discussion? I think this was A3
Yeah, I
was.
pulled it.
You pulled this, Councilmember Braithwaite, right?
I
Yeah.
pulled it, and just give me a second to get back to my mouse. Just threw me way off. Give me 1 quick, and then I'll scroll back up. So Daryl, I see that you're on the line. This is, give me 1 moment to get to the item. Now I have to click into it. This is real minor, Daryl. Thank you so much. It's a, really well-written memo. The 2 things there, it's an extension, so the money's already been budgeted. That much I realized. And when I was looking through it, with the extension, I didn't have a reference point in terms of if any Evanston businesses were able to to bid on this, or if they did, the first company that came to mind when I reread it was Cahill. But because it's an extension of something that's already budgeted, it's not something that you can open it up. My only thought would be, do you recall, and I know it was a while ago, if Cahill bid on this or if we reached out to them?
Good evening, Chair Burns, members of the committee, Darrell King, Water Production Bureau Chief, Council Member Braithwaite. So this service, to my knowledge, is not a service that Cahill provides. So,
They don't.
correct.
Okay.
This service isn't for testing of the devices. Cahill probably can test the devices, maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
Got
So,
it.
yes,
Thank you. Thank you for that response.
you're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Any other discussion on A3? Okay. Luke?
Councilmember Kelly,
Aye. Sorry about that. Aye.
Councilmember Braithwaite,
Aye.
Councilmember Nusma,
Aye.
Councilmember Burns,
Aye.
Councilmember Reed.
All right. Motion passed. I get someone motion approval for item A7.
Yep.
Mr. Chair, I'll move approval of.
I'll move approval of farmhouse restaurant year-round sidewalk cafe layout with permanent fixtures.
I will second.
All right. And any discussion?
Yeah, so another quick question. Again, another laid out memo that's real straightforward. And Johanna, I think this one is from you.
Yes, it's from Community Development.
Thank you so much. So I know they do something outdoor. I also know that, I'm just thinking about Howard Street. I know Good to Go has their whole outdoor. Are we seeing more of these pop up? I mean, everyone seems to be doing it, and it definitely makes sense during the pandemic. And my question is, are we doing any outreach to see if, for restaurants that have that footprint with a sidewalk landing where they've been already doing it, just to reach out and say, this, you may think about doing this as a way of helping to grow your business?
Well, we've let everybody, good evening, Johanna Neiden, Community Development Director. We've let people keep their sidewalk cafes up through the winter.
Yep.
So people can continue to keep sidewalk cafes. This is a permanent fixture.
Oh,
So
yeah.
This doesn't come down. So
Right.
Howard Street probably would not be a good location for the permanent structures given the size of the street. So we have Collectivo, Farmhouse. There's areas of the sidewalk where you can add cafe.
Right.
Things, those are better. Those are areas that are better suited for this. Think about right now, it's just hard to remove snow. So one of the stipulations is you can keep your cafe outside during the winter, but you have to, like in this weather, we would have asked people to move their stuff out, get the sidewalk cleared, and then you can put it back out.
Good point. I was just thinking all around town,
Yeah.
that 17 folded, stacks and folded. I was like, what are they doing? So
Yeah, we've kept in communication with the cafes and let them. We wanted them to use all the public space that they can as feasible, and obviously have looked to some best practices around. It just gets. I mean, the biggest challenge is winter. Winter is a hindrance to the sidewalk cafes in general.
Okay. Thanks for your response.
Yes.
All right. Any other Councilmember Reed? Is that you? Yeah. Reed.
Yeah, so I just want to note, Good to Go doesn't have a sidewalk cafe. They do have an outdoor thing, but it's on their own footprint.
Property.
I am curious. So can I just understand why this is coming to this committee rather than why is this not administrative? And I I'm genuinely asking just as a process, why is this not administrative and why is this coming to council?
Well, sidewalk cafes used to come to any kind of sidewalk cafe. A few years ago, we made an administrative change, so it would come, or you all made a change in the code that sidewalk cafes would be approved administratively. But because they're going to be anchoring fixtures to the public sidewalk, that's a little bit more permanent. And this body reviewing it, gives it that extra blessing rather than staff making that determination.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense. So then would there need to be an ordinance changed, something updating our code relating to the public way? I don't have it on the top of my head, but do you think that sounds about right, that we need to update our public way code in order to allow for this?
This is when we had these permanent, this is I think our second or third one. It's just been reviewed by Administration of Public Works and City Council. I don't know if we need to, create a big change, given that I don't know how many of these are we're going to see coming forward. Generally, with restaurants, they like the flexibility of the sidewalk cafe. My understanding is they like the flexibility the sidewalk cafe can afford, and those patterns change depending on what maybe restaurants in the space or what kind of dinner, lunch service they might have. I don't know of many restaurants that are prepared to do a permanent fixture as opposed to these temporary, more flexible ones.
Okay, I may have one more question, but I'll let other folks go ahead.
Just go ahead.
Thank you. No, Claire, I see, has her hand up.
Councilmember Kelly.
Yeah, so I also want to sort of dovetail on what Councilmember Braithwaite's comments and also thank staff. I know this took some workaround in terms of the routing of the sidewalk and the alley crossing way. But I do think this is incredibly, this will be really useful and make it this particular venue much more amenable. And I do think to Councilmember Braithwaite's point, I'd like to see more of this. I mean, this is where the cafe will actually hug the restaurant, which does make a lot of sense, sort of European style. And if we can continue to think creatively and outside of the box to open that conversation with more restaurants, I think this is really makes it much more appealing to have instead of having waiters crossing a busy sidewalk and everything else, to have it actually adjoined to the restaurant. So I thank staff for working that. I know it took some workaround to make that happen. And I would also love to see this opened up to more establishments.
Councilmember Reed, did you have any other questions?
Yeah, just particularly now that I was using that to get some time to actually look at the code. And I want to be clear, I'm fully supportive of this, and I want to see this happen, and I want to see this wherever possible, in the city. If anyone else wants to do this, I just focus on one of my things is being consistent with what's in our code and what we're doing in practice, just so there aren't special rules for, certain folks. And so there's just a clear pathway. And what I'm seeing here in in our city code relating to the public way is it seems as though section 7292, or I should say chapter 7, section 292, would prohibit such a structure. And so I just wonder if we should also, come back fairly soon. I'm fine approving, I guess, this design now, but I think we should come back pretty swiftly and just update the code to allow for this process. If in fact it is, if the law department agrees with my very quick assessment that this may be against code.
Councilmember Reed, my understanding is that the code, when we did the changes to make sidewalk cafes administrative, we made this when they were permanent, they would come to City Council for approval. So I don't know if Deputy City Manager Stonebeck or any other of the Public Works staff have comments on this, but I believe that this has already been handled.
I can chime in if that's okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Dave, go ahead.
No, that's okay. I was going to say I'd have to go back and look at what was done when we did Collectivo, but I agree with John and Knight in that we did look at this process when Collectivo came in, and it was decided, well, we just bring the few that we have to City Council for approval.
And I can just chime in further. Good evening, Chair Burns and members of City Council. I worked on some of this when I was the Corporation Council, and there was an administrative process. And for this particular property, and Johanna's exactly right, because of the anchorage into the public way and the workaround with the ADA walkway, we really did need to bring this forward to council. I don't think it requires an amendment to our ordinance. I just think it requires approval of the city council because we're allowing a business to erect permanent fixtures on the public way, which is our property.
Yeah. Councilman Reed, anything else?
Well, I guess just again, I'd support this just with the instruction that we double check, because I'm now also looking up the code relating to sidewalk cafes. And
Councilmember Reed, it's in the code. I can forward it to you. It's definitely in. I'm looking at it right now. There's under that section you just cited, rules for any cafe with year-round permanent fixtures. So it's there. Maybe we could chat in between meetings.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, if you can just send that to me. Yeah, that's my only thing, is just to make sure that everything aligns. So if it's there, it's there.
All right. Any other discussion around this issue? All right. Hearing none. Luke, please.
Councilmember Braithwaite?
Aye.
Councilmember Nusma?
Aye.
Councilmember Burns?
Aye.
Councilmember Reed?
Aye.
Councilmember Kelly?
I
All right. Items for consideration. Someone please move approval of item A8. Or, I guess it is for. Wait, is this for action or consideration? All right. So under items for consideration, we have for action item A8. Can someone move approval, please?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I will second.
Right, and this is resolution 5R22 authorizing extension of a license to Comcast, allowing maintenance of the building and fence in the public right-of-way of Mulford Street and Parkland in James Park. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. Luke?
Sorry, Councilmember Nusma?
Aye.
Councilmember Burns?
Aye.
Councilmember Reed?
Aye.
Councilmember Kelly? Councilmember Braithwaite?
Aye.
All right, and the last item for this meeting is item A9. Can someone move approval?
I move approval of item A9, resolution 9R22, authorizing the city manager to sign a professional services agreement with Ski-Data or Ski-Data.
Data.
Yeah.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Reed, seconded by Councilmember Nusma. Is there any discussion?
I will just say I want to thank Mike Rivera and his team. I think this is a good pathway forward to make sure that we're getting our bang for our buck with our parking services. So this is another cost savings measure, and piecing together what could have been a not great situation and making the best of it and creating some cost savings. So kudos to Mike and the team.
All right, Luke?
Councilmember Burns?
Aye.
Councilmember Reed?
Aye.
Councilmember Kelly?
Aye.
Councilmember Braithwaite?
Aye.
Councilmember Nusma?
Aye.
Right, seeing no other items on the agenda, this meeting is adjourned. We will begin council in, what did you say, folks?
Not council. It's going to be a P&D.
Are we doing P&D?
And it starts in 15 minutes.
5:15.
Sorry, I thought we didn't have P&D tonight. So Plan of Development Committee meeting is starting in 10 minutes. Thank you.
5:15 is what it's on the calendar for.
Yeah.
We couldn't do it any earlier.
So it's 4:15?
5:15.
5:15, yeah.
I mean, yeah. So at 5:15. So P&D starting at 5:15. Right.
Thanks, everybody.